Welcome to the Lair, a place where interesting people you may know tell you things you didn't. So grab a chair and your favorite vice and get comfortable. There are no rules in the Lair, but there is Laura Babcock. You know her from TV, and she is not into media monogamy. Let's find out who else is in the Lair.
Welcome to you're here in the Lair with Laura Babcock, the infamous Loren Lieberman, Gabriella, and our heckler du jour is Andrew Lawton. So if you can hear him heckle in the background. We've also got our douche producer, Rob, who's going to be supplying us with some stuff in a minute. And we are talking, no great surprise. Yeah, oh, that's why our producer doesn't have a microphone, because what he says is too douchey for the airwaves. We are talking about shock, women, and we will get to that topic in a moment. But before we get into getting to know Loren Lieberman, I got to ask you some questions just to get us all on the same level. Tell me, if you will, Loren, what is it in your life that has surprised you? Tell me something that surprised you.
When I turned 40, I was grossly surprised at my lot in life. And the personal surprise is the road that I've taken, the path I went down, and where I am today. And it's not a good thing or a bad thing, and I'm not being all sentimental or anything. It just, my life doesn't make sense from what it was supposed to be at all.
Meaning what?
You know, what you think you're going to be when you're a kid, what you think you're going to be through university, what you were raised to become, not even a distant cousin to how things turned out.
So what did you think you were going to be, and what are you now?
You know what, I went to university to get an education to make me a suitable dinner party guest. Supposed
To make you a suitable dinner party
Truly,
guest?
I have a fine arts education.
So you had a rich parent then who made your university
No, I had a family
experience.
business.
But what I'm saying is only someone from privilege goes to university to become a good party guest. Most people do it to get a job.
You know what, I'm a lovely date at the opera. I'm more than suitable at any art gallery. That's my formal
you're
education.
socially lovely, as you said. Yes.
Absolutely. And that was just supposed to be, you know, to round things out a bit while I went in the family business. But then there
What's
is no,
the family business?
There isn't, which is, and not for some time.
What was it, though?
Metal recycling.
Okay. So there wasn't a family business to go into?
No, things went awry just as I was getting ready to make those decisions.
And you don't seem like a scrap metal manager kind of guy. I mean, you're an artist, a performer.
Grew up in the business. It was certainly my lot in life. That's where I was supposed to be.
And now you are?
Now I am an entrepreneur who bobs and weaves his way to make a living through the arts community in one way or another. But I hate the arts. It makes my ass twitch. I'm in the entertainment. No, because I fill out government grants.
You sure it's the arts making your ass twitch?
No, I don't work in the arts. I work in the entertainment industry. Okay, there's a giant difference.
Right. So how come you're such a self-loathing arts hater? You're like an artist who hates the very
I'm not
art.
self-loathing.
Well, you hate the arts community, and yet you're its pinnacle.
No, I don't. I hate the image it conjures up. I hate
the starving artist, the
Right.
activist. What?
Right. When I was a pretty prolific theater producer, and people just knew me as theater people, there was this notion that, you know, I live in a box over top of a sewer grate, going from paycheck to paycheck, and.
But you're creative, so.
Well, yeah, but that's the complimentary end of it. What people's perception is artist means loser, and that's not my perception. I just don't want to be affiliated that way.
Wow. So you're saying that much of the arts community in Hamilton are losers?
No, I'm saying they're perceived that way.
The connotation with artist is.
Well, why, who are
Doesn't
they
have a
perceived?
real job.
Listen, if they're perceived as losers, who's perceiving that? And then doesn't that de facto make them losers? I mean,
Right,
if people's perception of you is that you're a loser, doesn't that kind of make a loser? I mean, loser is subjective.
I'll answer that question this way. People perceive the pig to be a filthy animal, when it in fact is among the cleanest of the farm animals. And it's true. You would way rather have your personal hygiene to be that of the level of a pig as opposed to a cow or a goat. But pig is what is synonymous, whether
Right.
he is or is not a filthy animal.
Right.
And I think that that's happened a bit in the arts community, not just locally, not even just nationally. It just
So are
is
you an
that
art
way.
snob? I don't mean in terms of you like fine painting. I mean you're a snob towards your own community.
Not at all. I'm railing against the perception thereof that you can be an artist in whatever way, shape, or form you choose to express yourself and have mortgage payments, raise a family.
Okay. Next question on the level. When did you know you were interesting?
That's a matter of opinion.
Yeah, I want yours.
I do find myself somewhat amusing. But that's usually quiet time in the shower.
Yeah, nice. I was going to make a comment, but I'll save it.
All right.
No, actually, I won't save it. Given that you seem to be catnip for chicks, I don't know what it is, dude.
Oh, dear.
Are you ever alone in the shower? Because seriously, you get propositioned more than any human being I've ever hung around with.
Well, I don't know what must
No
have been.
offense, but you're not that hot.
No, totally.
No, you're not. You're not
listen,
that hot.
listen. I have gone through life as
He's not, though. Come
no,
on.
but I've always gotten quality women
Yeah.
and an abundance thereof, and
Yes.
it never made any sense to me.
I
But
threw a little party at the Lair last evening. You were here, and every woman, even those who had their spouses here, were making a beeline for you. I don't get it.
I don't get it either, but I love it, and it's always been that way.
But why?
If I knew, I'd bottle it. And I know it sounds bizarre.
Theories?
but-
Theories? Anyone? Theories? Why does Loren pick up everywhere he goes? Yeah,
He's not a starving artist.
yeah. Okay. So you're saying so Andrew Lawton's saying it's your money. You're saying
I don't
it's,
have any money.
You're saying
I'm
it's the
old,
length of your.
balding, fat, and ugly.
But you're pointing to your knee.
Obnoxious and like.
Are you well
You
hung?
don't care about those things. That's what they hone in on. That you don't care you're fat, bald, and ugly, and obnoxious.
See, but he's saying here that it's because he's well hung, but you did the full Monty. You are, but you did the full. We're in the Lair.
I don't know that.
But you
so-
did the full Monty,
Yes.
right, on stage, where you
Yes.
showed, as you said to me once, your dream when you were a teenager was to show every woman in Hamilton your penis at some point or
Right.
another, and the full Monty helped expedite the dream.
Sure, we were getting rid of 300 a night and supposed
Exactly. So when you make a claim that you're well hung, there are lots of people who could support or dispute
to.
that claim.
You know what?
So what is it really? What is really the attraction? Because from what I hear from the reviews, any given night it depended.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right. It's not the penis. But back to your argument of I don't care. When I was a lame teenager, I was drowning in it then too, and
Was that
I
because
wasn't.
your daddy was rich and you
No,
hung out at the Hamilton Club with your dates?
but everybody was rich.
Okay, not everybody was
No,
rich.
no.
Lauren.
In terms of the circles, that didn't matter. But I wasn't ignoring my. I wasn't fat. I wasn't bald. I don't know. I like it a lot.
We run the baggie of random, which means that our producer makes a question we all have to answer. I have no idea what it's going to be, but let me just check. Okay. Oh, here you go. Looking for a job. Question. We all have to answer this one. Is Sarah Palin proof that if you're a piece of ass, men will act interested in your opinion? Wow. Loren, to you.
I don't buy this Saturday Night Live version of Sarah Palin being some sort of idiot. I don't subscribe to that. Now, to be fair, I don't work.
As Andrew pumps his fist.
Well, I don't work for the
You're
CBC,
just
so
in
I'm
love
not
with her 'cause she's
injected with
conservative.
left-leaning nonsense, right? I'm
That was a
open-minded
shot-
and
That was a shot at our
no, that's
t-shirt.
nonsense.
Maybe your ass wouldn't hurt then.
Oh, hell.
Oh,
Itch.
maybe we have an ass
Switch. She is attractive,
Uh-huh.
interesting, and I think that we have all lost the difference between the joke version of her and the real version of her.
But, okay, Gabby, thoughts?
I think so. I think people will definitely pretend to be interested in your opinion and then forget what you said 2 seconds later. And
Just feigning interest because you're good looking.
yeah, in the moment.
Yeah.
And then it.
Do you respect women?
Certainly.
Yeah?
Oh, absolutely. My
You
mom.
respect Sarah Palin. He already told
There
me.
you go. That's a real woman.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, because of her intellect and her opinions, clearly.
And her gun handling.
Sure. I never meant to offend. That was all play. Come on.
Yeah, but do you respect women, do you think?
Of course.
How so?
I mean, I honor my mother and... Like, define respect women.
I don't know. I'm asking you. Do you think you do?
I'm an absolute gentleman, always.
Yeah, but you respect them. You said something to me once here in the Lair. You said that women who want to be seniors at a law firm or whatever and have babies can't have both.
No, that you're taking things out of context.
Okay.
That women have to make sacrifices, like a man does, in order to gain the success level that a man has.
Is it fair to say, Loren, that in your public life, you say things that other people wouldn't say, which is part of why I think people love to listen to you. And some of the things you've said, even on our show, would suggest that you think women have a particular role and, you know, tiny little bit of sexist, no?
No,
Nothing?
I really don't think so. If we want to stick on that specific point, God gave you guys the ability to make babies, and that comes with the pros and cons therein.
Yeah.
And if that is a difficulty, well, then you're rewarded with motherhood, which everybody knows is a million times more important than fatherhood. We're hammered with that time and time again. But you can't. No, absolutely. But a woman can't have everything. You have to make sacrifices, just as a man does. And a man who's working 20 hours a day doesn't get to spend time with their family, and that's his sacrifice in order to climb that corporate ladder. And why is it a woman should be rewarded in the corporate world for having babies? That doesn't benefit the corporation. Is back to the argument we were having before, that private industry doesn't care about societal's birth rate, nor should they.
Hey, and as someone who owns a business and have had my team members
Do you only
go on...
hire sterile women?
No, I've had my team members go on maternity leave. He's looking at Gabby. That's nice. That's really nice, Loren. Back to that respecting women thing. Sterile, first of all. It's just not a nice word.
I didn't say very.
Very. That's where you were going. But yeah, I've had people go on maternity leave, and it's frustrating. And I left my executive job to own my own company so that I could have the best of both worlds as much as I could. But something that Tina, you were bringing up earlier, Gabby, Tina Fey, was talking about the fact that, you know, it's kind of rough that we have to, as women on a career trajectory, figure out how we're going to do these both important roles simultaneously.
And it sucks that you bleed and like, yeah. Too bad. You're not a man. Too bad.
I'm feeling the respect for women coming through now,
It's
dude.
just
Oozing out of you. Yeah, blah, 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 you bleed. So why is motherhood so much more important than fatherhood?
My mother explained that to me.
Yeah, but do you always, I don't
No,
think, generally, do you listen to everything your mom says?
I'm a victim of the court system and the bias.
Yeah.
That's where that comes from more than anything else.
So just bitter because
No,
they...
it's actually law in the province of Ontario, referred to as the tender years clause, that a child under the age of 2 for sure and possibly under the age of 4 goes, all things being equal, goes to the mother, period, because a mom is more important. And those decisions are being made by the men on the bench who are accustomed to that thought. So you get the bias both ways, good and bad.
You said it's been pounded into you, so it's not just through the court system, even as a child?
Well, of course.
Kind of Madonna
my
complex?
father's busy working, raised by my mother,
Yeah.
who was also busy working. But
Yeah.
okay, maybe I was wet nursed by my Jamaican nanny, but she was still a woman.
But that was last night.
Oh, nice.
No, the strip bar's not open on Sunday.
We could get into the whole did your mom breastfeed you thing.
She did, or at least she tells me she did.
Yeah? Oh, you don't believe her?
I wasn't there.
You
Well,
doesn't trust
technically
women.
you were.
He doesn't trust women.
You know what? You're
Who
totally
would?
Oh, okay. Back to the respect thing.
Did you slip her a flag and slap her on the ass?
Oh,
My nanny?
This is sorry. The douche producer just asked if he slipped his mom a 5 and slapped her on the ass after
No.
breastfeeding.
You know what? I wouldn't last too long to behave that way with my mother.
Yeah, your mom's strict,
Yeah, she's a tough woman.
tough. Oh, did you get good? That's not an alarm because you're getting boring, Loren. That's just an alarm on the handset. Did your mom have a good? Do you have a good relationship with your mom? A tough question, I know.
No, of course. I have a lot of love and respect for my mother, and we have a very different relationship as adults than we did as children.
Do you find is it better now, or worse?
I wouldn't say better or worse, just completely different. There's no longer a relationship of child-parent. We're transitioning to whereby, she's getting older and has some health issues, and I couldn't certainly ever burden my mother with any of my issues because, she's the more vulnerable. She's the weaker.
Has she always been more about her issues than yours? I mean, everyone's different, right?
Yeah, my mother's a character and has had an interesting go, so sure.
Well, the reason I ask is because Andrew here just mentioned the trust thing, right? And you said I don't trust, who would trust women? Usually that kind of stuff comes from your mom or something, doesn't it, guys? Isn't your mother a major...
I trust my mother.
Yeah, but you said you don't trust women, why not?
I trust my wife.
You've been married, this is your third marriage?
Yes.
Are you a little cynical about...
Did you trust your first two?
Death
No.
do us part?
No, I did not. Very different circumstances than at present, no.
So what is something we don't know about you? Because a lot of people have very strong opinions about you. I hear them all the time as your counterpoint on For the Record. They think of you as being, kind of crass and gruff and
indignant
rude
and
all those things.
Yeah, that's just a character I play.
Yeah.
I get, I weep a lot with the criticism I get.
You almost had it.
No, but okay, let me challenge you on that point because dude, I think you do a little tiny bit. You pay particular attention to your critics. I've had to tell you many times, like, who cares? Like if people are on Facebook bitching about us or setting up Facebook pages, why do you go? Why do you care?
Because a lot of what I do vocationally
Yeah.
is for community good, and that's not me. That's like the project. That's the things that I do, and the critics of what it is, the critics of whatever decisions I'm making may have a valid point, may need to be quelled in some manner.
So it's just an analytical exercise for you.
No,
Just
it's
an
more than that,
intellectual
though.
thing.
That the Festival of Friends, the steel industry, Hortons, and then third, the bronze medal would be the Festival of Friends in terms of identity of Hamilton. And like, I take that shit seriously. And when people punch me in the head for decisions made therein, it's not. They may be attacking me, but they're not. They're attacking a decision that was organizational and
but
otherwise.
on the show, when you say stuff like, if you're gay in school and you kill yourself, then you're man up. It's a jungle. When you say stuff like that gets the GBLT community going crazy, how does that have anything to do with Festival of Friends and community building?
No, because the GLBT community, before they can get outraged with me, needs to understand that my Rolodex, personal, is chock full of gay people. I was theater people, first and foremost. That I'm some sort of homophobe
I know you're
is
not.
an ignorant assumption.
The stuff you say on the air, though, gets people crazy.
But I say things that are completely logical and are completely. If we didn't just have, and I don't mean to be critical here, but we get 17 different subjects to do in 8 minutes, so Larry can spew for 20 minutes uninterrupted.
Right.
We get some a-hole guest who just needs to nod their head, and I agree with Laura in that, eh? Laura's good stuff.
Hey, I'm not going to complain.
You're a little chatty. I get these little, and I would not seem nearly as offensive if I could expound on my points of view a little better.
Really?
But I got to get in and get out.
Yeah, but when you okay. So just on that, a couple things. First of all, yes, I am tremendously chatty. But
I know.
you say I sell word. I get paid by the word or
That's
whatever.
true.
Right. So you fully endorse
I get
that.
paid by
rumor
the
on
laugh.
that.
You get paid by the word.
Right.
Yeah.
But when you talk about having the chance to expand, when you get more time on
Yes.
some of your favorite topics,
Then I go even more
It goes
nuts.
worse.
Oh, yeah.
Like you call for people's heads on platters. You think people should be fired. So don't give me this shit. That suddenly,
Yeah,
if you
you're
had
right.
more time, you'd be
you're right.
less. You get even deeper. It's like you get your 30 seconds is all
Yeah, but-
Hamilton could take.
but wait a second, I'll
all
tell you
polite
this.
society can take a Loren Lieberman.
It happens a million times. You're walking through Fortino's, some Joe Yokel Hamilton will come up to you and start talking about what you were on TV yapping about 3 weeks ago. 3 minutes after we're done the show's over.
Yeah, but not for people who hear you say stuff about them, their beliefs, their sexual orientation, whatever. I mean, you say stuff on the air and then
Get
we go
over
out for
it.
drinks.
You're
But
watching some sort of sitcom. You found a joke, didn't go over well. Do you then phone the network?
no, but it's not a
A sitcom isn't
sitcom.
what you believe as a person. You're not an actor.
Yes, I am.
They don't
No,
know that.
no.
Oh, of course I am.
You're on there with your own name. You're not on there playing a part. If you are, you need to make that known. But if you are playing a part, why are you trusted as a pundit? If it's not what you actually believe.
No, it is what I believe. I
Then you're
just
not
may
playing a part.
No, I just may be a little more salacious than need be.
Yeah, but see, I think that that's bullshit because when I talk to you privately all the time, you're just as salacious as you are in the air. So, you know,
I'm all right.
So
I
really,
got nothing.
the last 5 minutes total crap. Listen, but what I'm saying is that you are you, and the reason I think people love to see you on the air and why they're going to listen to this Lair cast is because you're a fascinating guy. You're an old school bon vivant. You live kind of rough. you're unapologetic. You get away with shit that nobody else tries to get away with, professionally and personally. You really do. I mean,
Okay, I appreciate the compliments therein. I think that people enjoy or hate, and either way is just as good as long as they're watching.
but you're not acting though, is what I'm saying. The stuff you say on the show is the stuff you believe. And you're more
Maybe
colorful
I'm
privately.
just always acting.
Well then, dude, there's issues. We gotta get back to your mother. Yeah, I know. If you're constantly acting, then there's something we can't get to in one Lair
I just don't
cast.
take it all that seriously, anything that we talk about on TV.
But I don't
really
agree. I think you take it very seriously. You get pissed off on the air. You say you said last week, we wouldn't be such losers in Hamilton if we didn't you said my heart's been broken over and over again. You use expressions and language that show that you actually do care.
Yeah, well, sure.
Yeah, you do care.
Right, but then it's gone after we're done talking about it.
Well, you get it off your chest,
Yeah.
but everybody in Hamilton is left with the impression of
And
Loren
it's on
Lieberman's
repeat,
vitriol and it
repeat.
repeats 15
and
times.
they have to eat my vitriol again and again. Too bad.
It's true.
Don't
So,
like it, change the channel.
You almost died.
Yeah.
What happened?
I've had some bizarro health shit over the years and otherwise, nah.
But how has it changed you every time?
It's like a big fork in the road is a jolt, but I've never come to a permanent one. I've never made a U-turn, or it's always.
You've had cancer once or twice?
I had a tumor in my throat some time ago, and the throat cancer is like 20 years old.
Yeah.
Some other health issues of
Yeah.
seriousness along the way.
That twitchy asshole of yours.
The twitchy asshole.
I wouldn't call that that's more of a recreational issue.
Yeah, or reclamational.
Yeah.
I can't make it.
You know
funny.
what though? I'm
But
not
is that part of why you live life, as Gabby said, with unapologetically? Because you've been on the brink a few times. Because there are very few people I meet in my life, and these guys can attest to this, that I actually say to everybody else I meet, you got to meet this guy. He's super interesting. Like, to me, you're like, you know those Cuervos commercials, or what are those commercials for that Mexican beer? Yeah, what is it? Dos Equis? Like, for Hamilton, you're Hamilton's most interesting man alive.
I'm Hamilton's Mordecai Richler.
Yeah,
An
but
asshole and
Yes.
drinks too much, smoke too much.
yes,
that
but
kind
you
of stuff.
have the entire local media on your personal Rolodex, and they meet with you to find out the scoops of the day. Like, you've got more power than people have any clue. And well, no, but he does, but it won't even matter. I could say anything.
Wow.
Yeah, but
That cat's not even in a
yeah,
bag.
but no, but the thing is, like, every day I read the newspaper, Loren's either behind the story as the secret source, or he's smack dab in the middle of the story, or I know that he's mobilizing minions around the issue. It's true.
I am involved in certain elements of this community,
Oh, blah, blah.
political or
Blah
otherwise.
blah blah. You
that-
broker information for a living, is what you do.
It's fine.
For what ends, though? What's the end game for
What do you
Loren
mean?
Lieberman? Is it money? Is it influence? What is it?
I need to have clear sailing in this city for the things that I do. That a level of respect amongst elected officials for me and the work I do is really, really helpful in achieving.
For the work you do for the festival, or for other clients,
Anything.
or anything that you do?
Anything that I
So
do.
you're constantly, because there was some elected officials at the party we were just talking about here at the Lair.
Sure.
When I see you get near somebody with influence, it's like you go out of the which chick am I going to take home zone into the what am I going to move for my interest zone. Like, you're very calculating. No? As a fellow calculating individual, I'm recognizing the skill set that I see.
I like to learn.
Yeah. You zone in, you hone in.
People have a way of sharing things with me, and I'm always happy to.
Do you know why they share with you?
I like In the political realm,
Yeah.
I find that interesting. I'm a decent pundit. I make sense on the crap that I espouse.
But you know why people share with you?
Because they want it moved.
No, because you give 3 times better gossip back. I'll tell you anything because you're going to dish so much good stuff.
I do get some good shit now and then, though. Wow.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Lauren, you're a fascinating guy.
Thanks.
We're not gonna dig to the depths of Loren Lieberman
no.
in one Laircast. We will have you back. Just by seeing how pissed off you made Andrew Lawton, and he just met you, you're clearly a guest we're gonna have back here. But I did get some questions from the giant. What are we calling it? The web sphere? The
interwebs.
The interwebs. The interwebs. I got a question from the interwebs from Chris Farias from Kite String here in Hamilton. And he says he wants to know, what is your favorite color? I swear to God, that's the question.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, is he talking about a girl to bring home?
Yeah. Oh! Okay, that's a better question. No
Yikes.
offense, Chris. What is your favorite color of girl to bring home? And then tell
I'm
us.
a happily married man.
If
but
you
I
weren't.
wasn't, like Neapolitan ice cream.
Nice. Like the nice blend.
So the black girl in the middle, the pink one on the right, and the white one on the left.
Exactly.
So
What's
when you
my,
say you're craving Chinese, it means you're bringing home Vera Wang, not chicken balls.
when I came here and was offered a glass of
Sorry,
Really?
Laura.
You need your own mic. What am I talking about?
when I was
I know I'm talking in your boobs.
No, it's okay. It's all right.
when I came to the
The
party,
things I'll do for a good Laircast.
Rob offered me some yellowtail, and I thought that was an Asian hooker. But apparently it's wine.
On the note of Asian hookers, Loren Lieberman's firing up into his true self. You got to answer, please, for Chris. What's your favorite color? He needs to know on that level, dude. Not of women to bring home. Thank
no,
you. Thank you, Peanut Geller. What is your favorite color?
Vamp.
Vamp. Vamp is your favorite
A
color.
really dark purple.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Vamp. I love it. Thank you for being in the
My
Lair,
pleasure.
Lauren.
You're arts major, right?
Yeah, he's the arts major. It comes out. And he managed to tie it all back to women. We've come all the way back around. His favorite color is Vamp. Full circle with Loren Lieberman. Thanks, Lauren.
Pleasure.
Thanks for being in the Lair.
Chats in the Lair is a Power Group production. Visit us at powergroup.ca or laircast.com, or check us out on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.